All right, let's get started. We've got a lot going on today. Want to make sure we have enough time to cram it all in. So welcome everyone. This is the March 2022 Phoenix Tableau user group. Uh, Thank you for joining. We know that there's a lot of user groups that you have options to join, especially today. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. As a means of housekeeping, all participants, you are muted. If you do have any questions, comments, go ahead and post that into the chat. We'll go ahead and respond accordingly. As a reminder, today's session will be recorded. It will be made available on Tableau's YouTube channel. So we'll go ahead and share that link out into the chat and plug that into the deck later today. As I mentioned, we have a lot going on, so we'll get through some updates rather quickly. We've got a lot of great guest speakers and presenters. Talk about the Tableau Newbie user group. So if you can kind of see, today's agenda is really built on more of the newer users to Tableau. And how do you navigate through that Tableau journey? Whether you're a student or you're doing career changes, or you've used Tableau in the past and you're looking to really upskill and you're trying to find your place, we're trying to build out some resources and some paths for you to understand, how do I get engaged? How do I become part of this data fam community? What's the purpose in certifying? You know, um, we've got some segments here talking with some of our Tableau ambassadors. And what are ambassadors? So we'll cover all that. Just like we do every month, we've got some Tableau trivia. So hopefully you're paying attention today. You learn a little bit, and see if you do well in trivia. Again, we've got some great prizes and swag giveaway. We've got hands-on activity. So as I mentioned, Adriana is going to be going through and showcasing her Tableau resume build out. It's really important that as you start your Tableau journey, that you have your portfolio in hand. And when we start talking about Tableau Public, we want to make sure that everyone on this call does have a Tableau Public profile. If you're in an organization, an enterprise environment, maybe you're using Tableau Enterprise or Tableau Desktop, published into the server or online, and that's great. But it is also important that you have that Tableau Public profile where you can showcase your personal work, maybe your progression on doing certain dashboards and iterating through them. This is what employers really look for. They want to see what your experience really looks like, not necessarily just talking about it. And while the certifications that we're going to cover today are important too, again, nothing really beats looking at your actual work. So she's going to take us through that activity. Hopefully you can all join in. If you don't have Tableau installed today, again, Tableau Public is free. You can go out, tableau.com/public, download that for Windows or Mac, and that should be pretty quick. We'll cover a few more things and then we'll wrap up in the next couple hours or so. Our user group leadership team, we've got Destiny, Mujahed, myself, and Adriana. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to post in the chat. We're all on social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, so do please follow us. If there's any topics, subjects you want to talk about going forward, let us know. Let us know what you're interested in. Try to tailor these meetings towards the masses. Let you know what you're thinking and present something great. All right, again, for all those of you that are new and maybe just not knowing that this is out there, data literacy is a really important kind of foundational element in organizations today. They want to make sure that you have a good grasp of topics and understanding how to communicate terminology across. And this isn't just for Tableau, this is for anything. If you're into Power BI or Click or even just Excel, just data in general. Tableau provides this data literacy program absolutely free. want to make sure that you get on board with this. So head out to tableau.com/learn/data-literacy, sign up. It is part of the Tableau e-learning platform. The e-learning platform is a very affordable program, roughly $10 a month. This takes you through a variety of learning paths, whether you're a designer, data scientist, server admin, executive sponsor, or community leader. There's roles and paths for you to learn, collect badges, showcase that you know what you're talking about. And it's a great learning experience. So the data literacy for all, absolutely free. The e-learning platform, it will cost you. Although, for any of you that are students on this call or have students in the household, I will plug the academic program. If you go to tableau.com/academics, for students, you get a full 1-year license version of Tableau Desktop absolutely free. You'll also get the e-learning program included in that, absolutely free. And as far as certification goes, you will get 20% off your desktop specialist certification, all of which we're going to talk about today in our other segments. So if you're a student, there's a lot of perks. You get basically everything that we're going to kind of look at today and cover absolutely free. So please take advantage of that. What's new? So 21.4 still pretty much the new kid on the block. Stay tuned for some new features coming out. 2022.1 will be rolling out this month. In some cases, if you're using Tableau online, maybe some of you have already seen or experienced that. But this is a great way to stay up to date with what's new, what's out there. You can go out to tableau.com/new features, take a look at all that. There will be a link also on that page if you just want to see all the features that are baked into all versions of Tableau. I know not some organizations, maybe you're on a legacy version, 1, 2, maybe even 3 versions behind, maybe more. You need to know what's kind of baked into those. So check out the new features, all features, and stay updated with what's relevant. Talked about the certifications. We're big on certifications here in Phoenix. Want to make sure that you have everything you need to become successful. These are great for showcasing to your employers and your peers that you've exceeded and excel at Tableau. It's also a great learning mechanism. So even if you're not interested in the certification itself, the exam guides, the study guides, they offer you a blueprint on what you should know on the foundation to achieve success in that regard. Your desktop specialist, we're going to cover quite a bit today in most of our segments. That's really where you want to start. But do go into the certification page, download the study guides. Again, if you certify, fantastic. If you don't, and you just use that as a blueprint to kind of formulate, what you should know to be successful, even better. So please take advantage of that. Mostly join the Tableau community. So you're all here either because you're already part of the Tableau community or someone had referred you or you saw us on maybe one of the social platforms and you're joining us today. But above all, please do get signed up, log in. It is absolutely free. This is where you can connect, post questions, do some research, tips, tricks, user groups, events, announcements. Everything's kind of baked into this community platform. So head out to community.tableau.com, sign up. Always recommend, even though you may have an account with your organization, again, sign up with just your personal account, just like with Tableau Public, and always have that kind of in your back pocket. All right, so we're going to kick things off. Our first presenter, we'll go ahead and Klaus, I'll turn it over to you, and we'll talk about the Tableau Newbie user group. Klaus is a Tableau visionary, co-lead of the Newbie user group. So Please pay attention. He's got some great content to share. Klaus?
Thank you, Michael, and hello, everyone. Thanks for having me here today. I really like the agenda you've put together, and I like being this meeting all about learning and learning paths and learning opportunities. And I'm happy to share one opportunity maybe with you, and this is the Tableau user group for newbies, the Newbie Tableau user group. So we started this user group back in January, and we really thought, is there a need for another user group? Because like Michael also said, there are so many user groups around, and you can choose between many options. Like today, I just saw that Kelly is hopping between Atlanta and Phoenix. So there is always a user group happening somewhere. But we thought, yes, there is a need for such a Tableau user group, because there are white spots on the map still. So we have some places in the world where we don't have any user groups. So we want to address these people. And then, and that's maybe even the most, it addresses newbies, so new users that are just kicking off their Tableau journey, and we want to share content that is specifically focusing on these new users. Yeah, and therefore we established this new user group, and we were quite excited about the response from the community. We had like 2,000 people for the two meetings signed up, and then like 800 and 900 people actually attending our meetings. So that was quite huge. We have two people who take care of the chat, because it's just going crazy, and people are excited. And yeah, that's what was good feedback for us, that we actually established this group. I'd like to share 2 or 3 things today. So what is our group? I already said it's dedicated to those new to Tableau, and also what Michael also said, new to the data family community. So we want people we want to give an opportunity to people to join the Tableau community. We have speakers from the community that cover different topics, and yeah, just we want to showcase what's happening in the community, and to give people the opportunity to contribute as well. Our meetings take place virtually every 6 to 8 weeks. So we started in January, we had a meeting in March. Next meeting will be in May, so there will be a slightly longer break because of the conference, but then 6 to 8 weeks, our meetings take place. Then we have an agenda that is always quite similar. So my Tableau visionary fellow, Jim Denner, and we will always cover a series we've labeled "How Does That Work?" And in this series, we are looking at very fundamental things of Tableau. So we are looking at how Tableau works. We started, for example, in our first session, looking at data connections. So how do you connect to data? How do you modify data connections? We talked about joins, blends, unions, relationships. Yeah, and introduce the different options that you have, and we're always demoing things live in Tableau, and that's also for us a good way to condense everything into 15 to 20 minutes and yeah, present it to the newbies. Last week or last time we presented on dimensions and measures, so the famous blue pills and green pills topic. What do they mean? When do you use them? And what are examples? Yeah, to just showcase how they work. So that is a recurring topic. So Jim and I explain fundamental things. And then we always have a featured guest speaker from the community. In our first meeting, we had Sarah Bartlett, the famous Sarah Loves Data. And she introduced everyone to the community. So she talked about the various initiatives. She talked about conference. She talked about certification, all the blogs around. So basically, gave some guidance to the newbies how to find their way into the community and what different offers are there for these newbies to take. Last time we had Steve Wexler, also a visionary like Sarah from the Hall of Fame even, and he talked about why do we see so many bar charts. So Steve is always great at explaining how data visualization actually works and how you can achieve the maximum benefit from your visualizations and that your audience can take the information from the visualization that they need. Yeah. So this is our basic agenda each time. So we have these introductive sessions by Jim and me, and we have a featured guest speaker, and then like I think in almost every user group we have some fun content. Last time we did the escape room challenge, and we have trivia, stuff like that. The team is almost spread around the world. So we started off with Alyssa from Tableau, and Jim is from Nashville, and I'm from Münster, Germany. And then for the second meeting, we extended our team with 2 more people from the US, Enid from Indianapolis and Laura from Chicago. And we also reached out to Viraj from Mumbai and Horace from Nigeria. And these are actually the areas in the world we are covering with our sessions. So Asia is a little bit out of reach because of the timing. So even India, so Viraj had to attend at midnight, I think. But we are really covering a huge part of the world. You also see Steve Wexler here on this map. He's not part of the leadership team, but he was attending our session last time. So therefore he made it to my map as well. Yeah, that's basically it. So I think using the newbie user group is a great opportunity to connect to other newbies, to learn about fundamental topics, like I just said, and also to hear from great data rock stars from the community like Sarah and Steve, and we've got other already lined up that will present various topics apart from these that are not maybe that fundamental, but also interesting to hear and see about. Yeah, the next meeting will take place in May. I already said that. And this would actually be the moment where you could sign up for this meeting. So take that QR code or even a link when I think the presentation gets shared. And would be great to see you in our next meeting. We're also always asking people to mention topics they like us to cover. So if you have a good idea for one of the next topics in our meetings, feel free to share that as well. And then I would be happy to see you in the next meeting. Maybe that was about the newbie group, and then Michael also asked me, and he mentioned that term earlier as well, the learning paths. So everyone starts at one point, and even if I'm a Tableau visionary today, I've started at the very beginning as well. And therefore, I've prepared, and I actually had that on Tableau Public quite some time, but never used it actually. I've put together my learning path, or I've visualized my learning path. And on this learning path, I've put together my important firsts. So what were crucial milestones for me to get started with Tableau and to get running and to maybe at some point become really good at it. and for me, it was really great to discover the various initiatives going on social, like Makeover Monday that time. So I started in July 2017. And this was actually my first dashboard that I've created as part of Makeover Monday. And I think in the first 1 or 2 years, I've participated like 50 times and just practiced different things, different chart types. I had to work with different data sets, and that was really great for me because it was a good way to work constantly on this and not just start and then stop it again. So good way for me to work constantly on that. Then I did oh no, it reloads, it always happens. Second milestone, I attended a Tableau training. So that was really helpful for me. So after using Tableau for 2 or 3 months, I went to Amsterdam in the Netherlands. I attended a training, and that was really cool for me because I had learned some things, but more like an in an autodidactic way. And this training was really good to get structured input from a trainer. So that was great. Then in January, I started blogging. So not everyone has to put to start his or her own blog, but for me, it was a really good way to think about what I've already learned, and when you want to explain something to someone, to some people, you have to really understand what you're writing, and that was just really a great opportunity for me, or a great way for me to really understand the topics and to really get into it. And ever since I've published blogs on my blog on bizjockey.com, and that was also a great milestone for me. Then in March, that was my first Tableau user group, and I was lucky that I met the famous Andy Kriebel on my first user group meeting. So again, I went to the Netherlands because I live quite close to the border of the Netherlands and Germany. And there I met Andy Kriebel. That was great. That was my first my first connection to the community, actually. Then in the same year, I participated in Iron Viz. So you probably know Iron Viz. We just had the feeder round for the next conference, and I participated in Iron Viz Europe, and I was even lucky to win it. And that was again a milestone for me, because when you have to create a dashboard in front of 5,000 people on stage, you just have to know what you do, and therefore that really leveled up my Tableau game. Then next step for me was I started doing collaborations a lot. I think it's always good to collaborate with people. I think most of the time it's even the best to collaborate with people who are better than you. And I teamed up, for example, with Ludovic Tavernier in this project. And that was just an amazing experience for me to learn from others and to see how they do things. And that has, again, really leveled up my game. Then I started teaching Tableau at my university. So I'm basically a professor of management accounting. So I've never worked in IT. I have no IT background. I'm an accountant from origin. But I wanted to implement data visualization at university. And again, when you want to teach Tableau, when you want to teach data visualization, you have to know what you're talking about. And that was, again, a milestone for me, because it really deepened my understanding of data visualization and of Tableau. Then also, next step, I had a presentation at Tableau conference with Ludovic together. So that was also an amazing experience. That was in Berlin. And I also spoke in Las Vegas the same year with Yvette Kovac. And these were really great moments. Then I yeah, I started using Tableau, or I tried to combine my two passions. So I'm an accountant, so I'm more a finance guy. And then I discovered this passion for Tableau. And in 2020, I started to combine these two passions. So what I did then and ever since, I try to visualize financial data in a different way. So what you see here, this flow chart is a P&L, and that was yeah, quite exciting to create, and received super feedback from the community, because I think many people, many users use this data all day, and accountants want to have tables all the time. And when you start thinking about how can we present this data in a different way, there are lots of options and lots of opportunities. Then for me, it was also important to widen my view on analytics and on data and how to work with data. And I started learning R. So I think it's never bad to know more than just one trick. So I learned R. I learned SQL. I did not know that today. And yeah, that was again for me a good way to deepen my understanding of how to work with data. Yeah. Then I was a Tableau doctor at Tableau conference. That was also a cool experience. So Tableau conference, there are Tableau doctor sessions where Tableau users from all around the world come and ask their questions on certain topics. On various topics, on server questions, on interactivity, on row level security. So there is a wide range of questions and topics that are covered. And I volunteered on one of these sessions, and yeah, answered a lot of questions. That was also cool. Yeah, then the Newbie group I already talked about in 2022, and what I'm just learning is QGIS. So I want to learn more about mapping. So how to show data on a map and how to create data that can be shown on a map. I think that's really an exciting topic, and that's what I'm just learning. So to wrap it up, I think I've been learning all the time, and it's probably never done, but everything I did on this learning path helped me to also become better at Tableau. And yeah, I hope you could take some inspiration from this. And yeah, each learning path is different. There is no right way of doing it. This way worked well for me, and yeah, I was happy to share it with you. And I'm looking forward to your questions, of course.
This is great. Thanks, Klaus. Any questions? You got one of the best, Tableau visionary, ambassador, user group leader. Check out his website. Posted that into the chat. I know usually it's after the fact people have questions, so you can definitely reach out to him, follow him on all his social links as well.
Yeah, you will find me on Twitter, on LinkedIn. Feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to answer your questions, of course.
That's great. All right, and then again, the next Tableau Newbie user group, 26th.
Yeah, let me put on that QR code again.
Please. So everybody get out your cameras. Go ahead and scan that. All right. And then while we have you, Klaus, I would ask if everybody can, go ahead and turn on your cameras. Did want to take a screenshot of everyone's smiling faces and all this excitement. But yeah, take a screenshot of that, scan it, and I think we'll be in a good spot here. All right. All right, give it another 15 seconds or so. Want to get everybody turning on your cameras and smiling. All right. Let's go ahead and do that. There we go. All right, let's do one more. Anyone else joining us? There we go. All right, good deal. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate that. Okay, and Klaus, thanks again so much. I know, what are we, late afternoon for you right now, or?
It's still okay. It's
Okay.
6:30. So
All right.
no worries. No worries.
Well, I appreciate that. All right, next presenter. So Rohit. Rohit's also joining us a little bit late in the evening too. So we appreciate your time. Rohit's a student ambassador. He's got a lot of great experience with Tableau. From the student side, we're going to learn more about him in the next segment. But he's here to really talk about the Tableau Desktop Specialist exam. We talked about that at the very beginning. That's, if you're interested in certifying, that's where you want to start. He's got some great tips, tricks, resources all around preparation. But we're going to hear about his journey and how that all went with the certification. So Rohit, I'm going to go ahead and turn everything over to you.
Thank you, Michael. Quick check. Are you guys able to see my screen? Michael, can you please confirm?
Looks great.
Cool. So good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. You guys, like wherever you are. My name is Rohit Prasad, and today in this session, I'm going to tell you something about Tableau Desktop Specialist certification overview and my personal experience. In this session, we are using Zoom. And if anybody is having a doubt, so please write on the chat box, and the community leader of Phoenix Talk will take care of it. So once again, welcome Data Rockstars. My name is Rohit Prasad. Currently, I'm living in Germany. I'm an international student in the Technical University Chemnitz, which is eastern part of the Germany, and I'm doing master studies over there. Last year, I became a Tableau Student Ambassador, cohort 2021. Apart from that, I'm a Tableau Desktop Specialist certified in the year 2019, and along with that, SAP ERP S/4HANA certified. And yes, we can connect through the LinkedIn as well. Moving further on, so let's start with the certification objective. So definitely, a high-value certification helps to gain the fundamental knowledge and its validation as well. Apart from that, it shows your commitment for the existing knowledge expansion and along with development of the new skill, which directly results as exponential career growth as a valuable asset of your organization. And it also helps to enhance to learn the latest technological trend based upon the business skills. And for the students, it goes beyond its curriculum to show that you know more than of your subject, which is being studied, which is being taught by your professors and lecturers. Now, talk about the demand of the data literacy based skills. So if you see on the left chart, this data skills on data literacy is always been high demand at this point of time, 2 years before, and the next 5 years as well. And this the survey, which you can see in the horizontal bar chart, which shows that the following departments, the important look around the importance of that data skill while hiring the entry level candidates. So you can see most of the departments or the domain is having those kind of skill requirement more than 50%. So that shows that we really need those people who understand the data and who can make some sensible analysis for those data for the company's benefit or profitability. There's a gap in the demand for that. So on the left-hand side, you can see the survey data that 66% institutions believe that data skill is very much mandatory or important, while the 81% of the recruiter think that data skill are very much important. And along with that, if you see the right-hand survey analysis, 48% of the institutions put emphasis about giving the knowledge to the students about the data literacy. So there is a gap. So how can we fill that? So Tableau certification gives you a 5-way benefit. So the first thing is like it gives you a knowledge about on-demand based data skills. It also helps you to grow about the must-have, the basic and the fundamental knowledge about the data literacy, which helps to gain the confidence. Which helps to gain the confidence and help your company to be a data-driven company, because right now, I guess each and every company is having lots and lots of data which needs to be analyzed. And it also helps you to uncover a new passion and new thoughts about how to improve your knowledge in the terms of data literacy, in terms of learning new tools and technology. And definitely it will help you to improve your salary as well. So Tableau is providing you basically certifications. So for this session, I would like to give you more inputs about the Tableau top specialist. I will call it generally tedious because that sounds it will be very easy for me to explain during my session. Let's see about the general overview of this session. So currently, the cost is $100, but in my case, I gave my exam in 2019. It was $75, so that was a discount was there of 25%. So there is no prerequisite requirements over there. The product experience, that means the knowledge of Tableau Desktop Professional or maybe Tableau Online, whatever you're using, it's asking like it should be like more than 3 months. But in general, if you have a 2 months of experience and then if you decided to give that exam, so you need to prepare like a 3 or 4 months on an average, and then you will be very much confident to give the examination. In my case, I already have 5 months experiences before scheduling of the examination. The best part of this certification is there is no expiration, so it's a lifetime certificate. So I think this is the smart move for those people who doesn't have any kind of like certification till now. And the language you can choose English, Japanese, and simplified Chinese. In my case, I choose English because my Japanese and Chinese are like amazing, super amazing. Additional information. So as per the latest information about the Tableau Desktop Specialty Examination, you need to create your account as a candidate in Pearson VUE website. And then you will get a kind of like window period to schedule a date and time slot for the examination. In my case, it was like a 6 months window period. And the third point is like if your present time is less than the 24 hours of the starting examination, then the candidate need to pay the extra money for scheduling up a new date and time slot. So for example, today at 8 p.m. you have an exam, and if at 3 p.m. if you're thinking that you need to reschedule up your date or maybe the time, then you have to pay some extra money. But if the present time is more than 24 hours, then you don't have to pay anything. It's free of cost to reschedule your date and time. Let's go some little bit more technical. So the exam style for the latest one is proctor based by Pearson VUE. In my case, it was online only, but the proctor based exam center was Loyalist Exam Services. The time duration is like 60 minutes of the examination, which includes 3 minutes of non-disclosure agreement review. So technically you will get like 57 minutes. So, but you can read it out and accept the NDA like in 30 seconds and 40 seconds. It's not a big deal. Exam check-in duration, it's 30 minutes. So for example, if your exam is at like 6 p.m., so you have to log in like 5:30 p.m. for do the technical checkups and all the stuff. So there will be one proctor will be there, and he or she will ask you to rotate to your laptop so that there shouldn't be anything on your deck on your table except your food beverages, water, and your identity proof in the terms of like passport, license, or anything like that. Next, the questions. So the latest TDS certification, you will get 45 questions. So 40 will be scored and 5 will be unscored. So while you're giving the examination, those 5 you won't find those unscored questions. And basically those 5 unscored question is for their statistical analysis for the future-based examination. So no need to worry about it. In my case, it was like 30 questions straightforward. So 21 was the theoretical questions and 9 was the hands-on experience in which I have to use the Tableau software on the virtual environment, which will be provided by you by the proctor-based representative during the exam check duration. The question format will be like multiple choice and multiple responses. So you have to choose one out of the 4 options, or 2 or 3 options as well. So it completely depends upon the mode of the question. The score range is like this time it's not in the percentage, so your score range has to be like from 0 to 1000. In my case, it was like in the percentage, that is 0 to 100%. Passing cutoff, so your score should be more than and equal to 750 marks. And in my case, it was like a 70%, more than equal to 75%. The exam durable, so you can go for the examination in the form of the test centers, or you can sit on your home or on your office and do the examination online. So I choose online based examination. Regarding supportives, so this time Tableau certification raised up their bars as in the terms of standardizations. So you cannot use any Tableau platform, internet, or outside application. But in my case, I was able to use Tableau platform and the internet as well. Moving further on. So when you finish your examination, immediately you will get your mark sheet, your certificate, as well as your digital badge, which you can put that on the Credly. So I guess everybody knows about the credit.com. So you can put all your badges and show off in your LinkedIn and put in your resume as a link while you're applying for internship, for master thesis, or for the full-time job. So basically, if you see the mark sheet, these are the category on the basis of which the entire examination is based upon. So there are basically 4 domains. So the first one is connecting to and preparing the data. The second one is exploring and analyzing the data. The third one is sharing insight. And the fourth one is understanding the Tableau concept. And above that, you can see the score is up here. So 70% is the cutoff score. And what are the marks you scored, it will be displayed also as a horizontal bar chart. So benefits for the students in this examination. So as a student, you can get a licensed version of Tableau desktop professional software for the practice. So I provided the link over here. And along with that, there is one more group, which is called Tableau for Clubs. I also put the link over here. This is made for the students. So you will get a data set. Obviously, you will get the licensed version of Tableau Desktop Professional, which is basically 1 year. But as a student, you can roll on your software license extended up till you are student. So there is not an issue for the student. And along with that, as a student, you will get the code to get access for the e-learning. So below is the snapshot I took for the e-learning. So these are the learning paths. So you can see the digital badges over here. So you can go around, learn, and there is a small assessment examination of 25 minutes also, which you keep. The moment you get past, you will get the digital batches, and you can show it off that one also. Along with that, there are some fundamental courses which is on the left hand side. For example, Tableau Fundamental, Tableau Intermediate, and Tableau Advanced. These 3 courses I learned for this Tableau Desktop Specialist, and for me these 3 courses was much more sufficient to learn the fundamentals. Moving further on, so learnings for students and non-students. So definitely you will get an access for the Tableau free training. You can join the Tableau users group also to learn more about like how to do the visualization and basic concepts. So there are lots of groups over here. And for the examination, so this is most interesting part for me. So I put over here 2 links regarding the Udemy, which is a very amazing website for learning any kinds of skills. So over here, I put Mr. Lucas Halem's course, which is available in the Udemy. And the second one is Amandeep Sohoy. And these 2 guys are really good. I mean, like if you really want, you can buy those courses for the mock practices, as well as they explain each and every topic related to the examination in a very simple and explainable way. Okay, moving further on. So I just put some blogs and YouTube resources over here. So you can check around Professor Klaus Schulter blogs. Also, you can communicate with him over there. He's always ready to help you out, people. And I used Andy Krabel, great, super amazing guy. And the way he explained is really, really interesting and simple for me to understand the fundamental as well. And apart from that, Team Tableau, I just followed it, and the Information Lab, which is, I think, run by Andy Krabel also. So I will share this slides to you, and the Tableau leaders will be take care of it. All right. Now, what are the strategies of TDS certification and my benefits? So you need to plan the duration for the learning and fix a deadline for the examination. The time dedication, which I took, is like on an average 15 hours per week. The learning materials which I use is obviously the Tableau, YouTubes, and blogs. And definitely I practice mock exam multiple times. So I just set the alarms of like not 60 minutes, but like 50 minutes, 55 minutes, and try to do the examination and check my speed as well as my accuracy as well. Apart from that, practice one dashboard like per week. You just try to prepare it from the scratch. It hasn't to be like super amazing dashboard. It's just a baseline dashboard to see how the dimension and the measure will works, how the calculation will works, set actions, calculation field will work, how the parameters is working. And about my benefits, the moment I got my certification, in the 2 months, I got my first internship. And along with that, I just getting multiple student positions in the organization. I'm sorry for my spelling mistakes over here. And apart from that, I made a very good professional contacts in the companies. Last year, I became a Tableau student ambassador. So I'm just giving the training to the students about like a beginner's level of Tableau understanding and how to make the dashboard in a simple way. Apart from that, my domain spectrum has been broadened enough, so I worked in multiple domains, and definitely my confidence get boosted when I see the data. I started thinking I have my own ideas which I can pitch up to my supervisor, to my bosses, to make a plan like how to take the data, how to make the visualizations, does this visualization make sense or not, and finally create the dashboard and present to the stakeholders. And the sectors so far I covered is currently is like a project management. In on this, I'm doing my master thesis. Apart from that, e-commerce, controlling, academic, product management, software and IT, and financial services. I would like to end this session with a very amazing quote which I like, that tell me, I forget, teach me, I may remember, but involve me and I learn. And that's, I believe, the main agenda of this Tableau community, that spreading the knowledge about the latest trend and technology to make everyone updated and educated about the data literacy. Thank you very much, guys. You guys are really awesome. Keep smiling, learning, and good luck for your TDS certification exam.
That's great. Thanks, Rohit. So there's been a lot of questions and comments in the chat, so just wanted to make sure that we cover some of those. So just as some clarification, when Rohit and I and many others have taken the exam was provided in maybe a different format. You know, you get it online, you can go and utilize all the online resources, except for chats or things like that. Not anymore. So I did post a link in the chat, which outlines the specialist exam details. All exams going forward, from what it looks like, are based off of recall, which means you cannot use the actual application during the exam, only under certain circumstances where maybe you're asked to build something out. Maybe there's a hands-on activity. I have not taken the specialist exam in this new format, but here's something to consider. And I don't think it's in the specialist, but it will be in your data analyst exam if you do this. There are sections in certain exams, data analyst certificate by being one of those. And by sections, I mean, you'll be presented with a series of questions like Rohit was talking about, maybe your multiple choice, and that's your section. You've got to answer maybe 10, 20, 30 questions, answer them, and that's it. You can move on to the next section. So previously, maybe we're all used to, hey, I'm going to flag a question and then circle back to it. Maybe I'll get some hints, or maybe I'll get to use an application later on in my exam. Not anymore. So they're a little more strict and I guess smart about this. They want to really test your knowledge. Hopefully this is making sense, that you need to go into this prepared and really knowing the material. There is no more, I'm going to go online, I'm going to Google it, I'm going to use the help documentation. Those things are cut off. In certain circumstances, they may provide a PDF help version on the desktop, not necessarily as robust. So go into this prepared, I guess, is the bottom line. Use the resources that Rohit had provided, tons and tons of links and blogs and white papers, resources, but the exam guides that I provided that Tableau offers, read through them. Make sure you just know the material and the topics well enough that you go in and you feel comfortable in passing that. Just trying to quickly scan through and see if there's any other questions. Rohit, when I took the exam, there wasn't necessarily anything in the desktop specialist for, hey, you need to build something out for assessment. This is really just your recollection on, the foundational elements of Tableau, but nothing build specific. Is that your recollection and understanding as well?
Well, Michael, when I was keeping the exam, regarding the hands-on experience, so data set was given, and the question set is there. So I have to read the question, understand it, what they exactly want, and then at the same time I have to upload the data, put on the data in the Tableau desktop and try to visualize it.
Right, but nothing where you're going to get scored on your actual build. Maybe just to get to an answer, but
yes,
nothing like that.
Yes.
Okay, so hopefully that helps. At this time, there are no certifications that assess you on your actual build in the way that it looks or feels. The data analyst exam, there is a hands-on activity where you do need to go through, as kind of Rohit mentioned, answer some questions, connect to some data, get to an answer, and then save that workbook. But you're not being graded on, does the viz look good, or any of those kind of components. It's really, did you get to the answer that they were looking for using Tableau? All right, Rohit, we're going to move on. I know we're running a little bit behind, but I'm going to turn this over to you and Mujahid. So let me go ahead and share my screen. We don't really have much in terms of presentation here, but we will go ahead and just keep up a deck just so you have understanding of what we're talking about. So Mujahid, you're on, correct?
Yes, Michael. I hope I'm audible enough and clear enough.
You are. All right.
All right.
So we've got both Mujahid. Mujahid's a co-lead of the Phoenix Tableau user group and a former student ambassador as well. So I wanted to bring them both on to talk about their experiences. Again, both coming either out of academic institution or brand new into the workforce, and providing some of that feedback of what it means to be an ambassador, a data visualization, part of the data fam. What does it all look like? And then if you have any questions, go ahead and plug those into the chat, and we'll circle back at the end.
Thank you so much, Michael, for turning it over to me and Rohit. Rohit, welcome again. Thank you so much for your in-depth overview of the Tableau Desktop Specialist examination. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to find that to be very helpful, and hopefully we can see some more people get certifiably Tableau, right? Please use the hashtag. I mean, it's really cool. Yeah. Anyway, so let's get straight into it. So Rohit, tell me something about yourself. What are you currently studying, and how did you actually come across Tableau and even know that something called as a Tableau Ambassador existed?
Well, start from the scratch. Born and brought up in Mumbai, India, and did my bachelor's in engineering field with a specialization of electronics and telecommunication. Then jumped to management side, and then I did my MBA in finance. Worked around more than 3.5 years as a senior financial analyst with the clients like JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Barclays, and all the stuff. And then I thought that I just need some more exposure in the terms of global scale. So I thought that let's try for the Germany. I used to see in the NetGeo about the German engineering, German technology. I guess Professor Klaus is feeling very happy now. So I applied for a couple of universities. So and I chose Technical University Chemnitz. So Chemnitz is the eastern part of Germany, and it's below below Berlin. And my study is a Master of Science with a specialization of electrical engineering and information technology. But my more focus is on information technology, and somehow a couple of my friends from US, they are talking about the data science roles. So I just thought that what is exactly the data science roles? Then after spending a little bit of time and Googling and all the stuffs and asking questions to my friends and colleagues and professors, I got to know about one role that is called business intelligence role. And I just deep dive over, I mean, like bit more and more and more and more. And then I got to know about the softwares like Tableau and all the stuff. So I then and there simply create my account, downloaded the free version of Tableau desktop as a student, and started doing practices using, first starting with the free courses from the Udemy, and then started with the YouTubes also, then started with the blogs like Makeover Monday and all the stuffs. And yeah, I mean, like then I did certification, as I told you in my last session, then started working in an organization. So over there, I got to know the ground level challenges about the data insights and implementation of Tableau in the terms of desktop version or the online version. And initially it was challenging, but as I was continuously learning and learning with the data, now I really feel enjoy. So the bottom line is like if I had my work experience and internship, so that cost me around like 8 hours every day, but those 8 hours I really enjoy my time with the data along with the Tableau. Yeah.
Sounds great. So you did have like, a ton of, educational and, professional experience right from engineering to business and now back into information technology and engineering. That's great. So what does it or did it mean to you to be nominated and selected as a Tableau ambassador?
So I applied last year in the month of June, and I got reply in the month of like July end.
So how did you actually come to know about the sort of ambassadorship program, or did someone recommend you to, nominate yourself, or, how did you basically find out about this? And then what did it mean to you?
I got it through the LinkedIn. So I joined a couple of communities over there. So I got it over there, and then I went and I just tried my luck. Okay, let's try. Maybe I get a chance over it, and luckily I got it.
That's awesome, right? So what opportunities has becoming a Tableau ambassador done for you, be it either personally or professionally, be it in any regard, right? So what do you feel like, how have things changed from before when you were not a Tableau ambassador, and now that you have been a Tableau ambassador for a few months? How do you think things have changed for you both personally and professionally?
So basically, before being a Tableau ambassador, I was just learning and searching from the random resources. Sometimes I used to go Udemy, sometimes I used to go YouTubes and all the stuff. But after becoming a Tableau ambassador, my entire mind and my skills got aligned that, okay, this is the path. And along with that, I really made some very good contacts in the Tableau community. I met Professor Klaus, who is my mentor. He's also from Germany. And together, we already trained more than 500 students from multiple universities. That includes university in India as well as in Germany. And the numbers is still rolling on. And I really feel very good that Professor Klaus always give me a feedback how to improvise the communication, how to explain the visualization to the students, and I am improving it. And apart from that, I'm doing master's thesis. So my majority of the work is on the Tableau, and all the learnings after being Tableau ambassadors is really very much helpful for performing my task in my master thesis.
Indeed, I can completely attest to that, because I was sort of exactly in similar shoes exactly an year ago. I was a Tableau student ambassador like you. So and yes, while I got shortlisted for my interview, that's how I met Michael, and Michael has been a great mentor for me, just like Professor Klaus is for you, right? So I guess being an ambassador really provides you with ample opportunities for growth, both personally and professionally, and you end up meeting some really great people who contribute to your success ultimately, right? That's great.
Indeed. Yeah.
So,
Sai,
yeah, go ahead.
do you still use the Tableau desktop, or are you still learning some like new stuffs from the Tableau community?
Yes, I actually learn a lot of new stuff from the Tableau community on a daily basis. So after graduating from my master's with a master's from Arizona State, I got my first job as a business intelligence analyst at one of the leading analytics consulting companies in the US. And I work with a lot of Fortune 500 clients on a regular basis and help them with their analytics strategy, analytics enablement, and so on, optimizing their existing dashboards in production and everything. So oftentimes I will have to refer back or fall back onto the resources which the Tableau community or the data farm has put out there as part of their experiences. So in a way, every day, each day is still a learning experience for me, I'd say. So the learning never stops, right?
Indeed.
Right. And then Rohit, one last question for you. What advice can you give to current students or recent grads and or people who are currently in industry and wish to shift their career towards data analytics roles?
For the students, I would say I would say that get the license, start learning it using by joining the Tableau community, free training, e-learnings, and it really helps you a lot, because at this point of time, data is a new oil in the industry. So there is always a demand for data analyst or business intelligence analyst or business intelligence engineers, or I would say like data science roles in the company. For the career shifters or the recent graduates, it's good to have certifications, because it will give you a very great boost up in your career, as well as future prospect, like future domain where you wanted to go, which company you want to chase. Like it's all about. And the most important thing that for learning, it's for the recent graduates and the ongoing student, that don't completely focus on the Tableau. Okay, so there are other tools which you need to learn to get the entire data analyst or business intelligence stack flow. So apart from the Tableau, you have to learn SQL and one scripting language. So either you can go for the Python or R. So all these learnings, and make some demo projects, put them in your GitHub, show it in LinkedIn and your resume while applying to the companies, and the hiring people from the company will get to know, okay, these guys knows these kind of tools, and they did these kind of projects. So while seeing these projects, it will give a very good impression to the companies. So your chance of getting hired, doesn't matter whatever the position you're applying, is getting more and more amazingly towards your side.
Absolutely, I completely agree with that. And then one last quick thing I'd like to add for someone who's currently working but wants to sort of pivot their career towards more sort of data focused roles, I'd highly recommend, looking for, or if there are any vacant data roles in your current company, because that way you can switch internally, and that's a lot easier than, applying to another company altogether. And that can actually really help boost your professional experience. If you're able to get a data role internally, you can gather that experience and then move on as you wish. So that's pretty much what I had from my end. Mike, do you have anything to add?
No, this is really good. There's I think you guys touched on a lot of great topics here. So mentorship is key. The Tableau community does provide a lot of mentorship opportunities. So if anyone is looking for a mentor or you want to become a mentee, let us know. We'll connect you with the right resources to make that happen. But above all, join the community, whether it's a Phoenix user group or another local user group, an industry-specific user group. Connect with those individuals, make some good friends, and above all, find us on social. There's a lot of learning resources, but mentorship is, I think, key to success. Is kind of the bottom line here. So, Rohit, Mujahid, thank you so much. We're gonna go ahead and move on. We've got still a lot to cover in today's segment, but we're gonna have some fun real quick. So we do this every month. Want to see if you've all been paying attention, learn a little bit more about Tableau along the way. So we're gonna go ahead and do some Tableau trivia. In order to do that, go out to this website, menti.com, menti.com, and plug in that game pin. And if one of my co-leads, if you guys can plug that into the chat, make that accessible for everyone, that would be great. And we'll go ahead and we'll kick this off. So it looks like we've got some people joined in. And again, we'll give it another 30 seconds or so. Again, you can do this from your phone. You can do it from your desktop. Head out to menti.com. And plug in that game code. All right. Another 15 seconds and then we'll get started. All right, let's go ahead and get started. What city, state are you joining us from today? There we go. All right, looks like we got a pretty diverse group, span all across the US and then some.
Hey, Mike, I don't think you're sharing the Menti screen. We can just still see those slides.
Absolutely, I was not. I apologize. Let me know if you can see my screen now.
I still see the slide. I don't see the trivia.
Okay, well, let's do this. Let me go ahead and do new share. Let's do desktop, share.
And now we can see Menti. Yeah.
There we go. All right.
Perfect.
Okay, again, if you want to join, there's still time. Go to menti.com and use that code 89850895. Okay, next question. Is this your first time at a Tableau user group? And there are tons and tons out there. So for everyone that has been joining us regularly, appreciate it. For those of you that are your first time, again, welcome. We've got a lot covering today. Also want to know for the Phoenix Tableau user group, we do quarterly workshops. So our next workshop we will be holding in April. So that'll be the Saturday after our normal Thursday meeting. So we'll go ahead and we'll post all that information into the deck. We'll share that out so you have that. For those new users, anyone just getting started with Tableau, it's a great way to kind of get exposed to the product. We will be using Tableau Public. Tableau Public, again, is free. You go to tableau.com/public, sign up, make sure you have your profile. We're going to be doing some activities today where we want you to get that posted. All right, for everyone, how long have you been using Tableau? Great. All right, again, for those of you that are brand new, we've learned a lot about different resources today. And for those of you that have been using Tableau for quite a while, we hope that your data rock stars, you got all your certifications intact. If not, go ahead and get that done. Talked about some mentorships, becoming mentors, for mentees, and vice versa. So let's do that. Now, if for those of you that did not know, Tableau is a Salesforce company. Or sorry, Salesforce is basically a parent company of Tableau along with others. So when we refer to Salesforce, it's the whole thing. Tableau, Salesforce, Tableau CRM, Einstein, those are all Salesforce products. So no surprise, looks like Tableau Desktop is by far kind of the most popular. Do want to let you know that as you are going into this career, it is highly advisable that everyone kind of spans across all product lines, or at least has some knowledge. I know in this kind of gamification here, there's not a way to maybe do like multi-select. So maybe we'll add an option to do all the above in the future. But yeah, we wanted to know what interests you the most. And again, Tableau Desktop, it is great, but please keep in mind that all of these other products are starting to play a bigger picture, especially for career growth and development. All right, which customer type are you? So again, we talked about, kind of the Tableau being, part of the Salesforce family. And last month we focused a lot on Salesforce products specifically. If you're not familiar with the Salesforce lineup, Salesforce on the Tableau side of things is really focused on Tableau CRM and Einstein Analytics, Einstein Discovery, those kind of platforms. But there are many, many more. And again, hopefully you take that journey with us and get exposed to everything that's out there. All right, well, thanks for kind of getting to know you. Appreciate that. Now let's test your Tableau knowledge and see what you've been paying attention to. All right. First question. Now, the faster you answer, the more points you accumulate. Where do you start if you want to learn Tableau? And we've got the Tableau Newbie user group, we've got the Tableau community, we've got e-learning, or all the above. Absolutely. So we did talk a lot about Tableau Newbie user group. Definitely want you to start there. The community is mass amount of information baked into that. So above all, please join the Tableau community if you haven't already. Tableau E-Learning, while it is paid, it is a fantastic place to start. The Data Literacy for All, which is part of e-learning, is absolutely free. So all of these resources are a great place to start and learn Tableau, start you on your journey. All right, next question. students get the following perks. Get a free year of Tableau Desktop, or you get a free year of e-learning. You get discounts on the desktop exam, or all the above. So Rohit, Mujahid talked a lot about the academic program. If you go out to tableau.com/academic, or students, whatever, it's all going to take you to the same place. But bottom line, if you are a student, know a student, all of these are included. You do get that free year of Tableau Desktop. This is the professional version, absolutely free. You do get a whole year of e-learning access as well, all for free. If at some point you do want to take your certification, you will get 20% off that. All of those are baked in. So please, if you know students, if you are a student, go ahead and take advantage of that. All right, next question. The Tableau Conference 2022 is available as, and I posted this link into the chat. So if you do scroll up into your chat, you will find the link to register for Tableau Conference this year. Now, is it in person, virtual, or both in person and virtual? This is a first, 100%, absolutely. So Tableau Conference is in person and it is virtual. The in-person event is going to be held in Las Vegas, May 17th through the 19th. There is a cost for the tickets. Tickets are limited. So if you do want to attend, go out there after this, not during, and go ahead and register. Also, virtual, it is free to attend. So there will be a lot of engagement opportunities in the virtual session, so don't feel like you're necessarily missing out. The last couple of years, Tableau has done an amazing job hosting the Tableau conference virtually. So you will get a lot out of it either way. If you want, even sign up for both. But the virtual is at the same registration and is absolutely 100% free. All right, question 4. Now, Tableau offers no cost option for one of their products. Which one is that? Is that Tableau Public, Tableau Desktop, Tableau Express, Tableau Online? Absolutely, Tableau Public, 100% free. This is for more or less personal use. You got some limitations with what you can do in Tableau Public in terms of data connectivity, but most, if not all, the bells and whistles are baked into that product. So if you're working on an older version at work, or you don't even have Tableau, Tableau Public is what you want to use to really learn the product. Tableau Desktop, it is a paid product. Tableau Express just doesn't exist. And Tableau Online, that is a SaaS-based solution, and that is also a paid cost, more like your Tableau server. The Tableau Public and Tableau Public Online, that's where that comes from. So maybe if there was some confusion there, it's all around that Tableau Public brand. All right, we've got a couple more questions. Question 5, which is not a Salesforce product? And we talked, again, Tableau being part of the Salesforce family. So there's your freebie. Which ones are not part of the Salesforce product family? Workday, Tableau, MuleSoft, or Slack? Well, as long as nobody selected Tableau, I am happy. Workday is not a Salesforce product. Tableau, we all know now, is. MuleSoft is also a Salesforce product. So for those of you that might be interested in API connectivity, that is a platform that you want to definitely check out. Slack is a collaboration tool, much like if you're using Microsoft Teams or, in this case, Google Meet or Chat for that example. Slack was acquired by Salesforce. There's a lot of great integration with Slack and Tableau today. So if you are using Slack in your organization and want to learn more, let us know. Lots of amazing things that you can do with Slack and collaboration. All right. Question 6. Klaus, who presented earlier today, one of the Tableau visionaries, who provided resource on his blog. Which is his website? We got vizjockey.com, vizwiz.com, dataviz.blog, datavisual.blog. All of these are valid blogs and resources from members in our Tableau community, and one is only correct, vizjockey.com. Amazing resources, lots of great information. He's also got some links and resources if you're interested in the Tableau desktop specialist exam. He's got some guest bloggers and speakers that contribute. So do check that out. All of these, again, are great resources. So take note of those. Screenshot. There you go. All right. Last question. Well, I guess that was the last question. All right. So our winners are we've got Tom, Jen, and Ted. So Tom, Jen, Ted, please go ahead and provide me your contact information. I'll reach out to you through email and get your mailing address, and we'll get you some fun Tableau swag. So again, we've got a lot to cover today, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the presentation over to Adriana, and she is going to review the interactive resume build.
Hello, everyone. Took me a while
There you are.
Yeah, here. Just hard to remove that mute button, like, it happens, but okay. So I guess it's my turn to talk about one of the things I think it goes really well with what we have seen on the previous presentations, is that how do you go from being a student to actually learn and apply your skills. And a lot of the times, as Michael mentioned at the beginning of this call, now more and more companies, when they interview you, they want to know and they want to make sure that you know Tableau and that you can showcase your skills. So what is the best way to showcase your skills and show to your potential employer that you actually know how to use Tableau? So I never thought about this, but actually I'm actually been using Tableau for a few years now, and I never thought that building your resume is one of the best ways that you can showcase your skills. It's a very fun activity, which I'm gonna walk you through in the few minutes I have left. And it also, you have the opportunity to say a lot about you and also showcase what you know about Tableau. So let me share my screen. Okay, sharing now. So what you can see here, let me just click share. Let me know when you can see. I'm not gonna be able to see the chat, so please just give me if I need to stop to answer any questions, or we can wait until the end. But one of the just click this. One of the things you see here is is kind of my final resume that I built for this session, which I thought it was super fun to do this. I didn't start from scratch. I'm gonna walk you through some of the things I did to get to this product. And you see a final product here, which is interactive resume, and that you can show a lot about yourself and about what you know about Tableau. But before I walk you through my final resume, I want to shift your attention to some of the resources I use to start figuring out how do I build a resume, right? It doesn't matter the experience you have in Tableau and how many dashboards you have created. Like I mentioned, I have used in Tableau for about 6 years now and built tons of visualizations and dashboards. But when it comes to design something, I always had to think about what story I want to tell, right? That's one of the first things that you have to think about. And what resources are out there that could help me start that story. I'll paste these links in the chat, but one of the great blogs I found out there is 5 tips on creating an interactive resume using Tableau. If you spend some time on it, it just tells you like, what do you need to do first? Like I say, get inspired. I think that's the big one. It's always kind of hard to say, how do I start, right? How do I want to present myself? I think one of the hardest things I found about building a resume is that you got to tell a story about yourself. And when I talk about myself, it's hard for me to talk about myself, so that's one of the things that you have to think about. How do you want to talk about yourself and tell the story? Lay out your design. Yes, you can lay out your design, but I didn't start from scratch. I'll show you really quick what I used to build my resume. How are you gonna build your custom graphics? I think this is one of the challenges was that I wanted to bring so many icons to show my interests and to show some of the things I like to do. And I had to learn how to bring those icons, which I don't usually do a lot of customization around Tableau, but it was fun to learn. And I'll share with you some of the resources I use. And finally, and the most important is how do you need to structure your data? That's always the most important thing. How do you structure your data, right? It wasn't anything difficult, to be honest, to do that. The next thing I went to the public gallery and Tableau Public to see any interactive resumes that are out there. I wanted to see what people had done already, what templates I could focus or maybe get inspired. And there was a couple of users I really got inspired. And I said, I don't have to start from scratch, right? You find that some of these templates are open for you to download, some are not open. So, but just by looking the way people tell the story, it helps a lot, right? You don't have to start from scratch. And the next thing I use, there is free websites. Actually, this my friend Michael is great that he knows about these websites, about icons, how you can download these icons. It's pretty cool because a lot of these images are already with clear backgrounds. You don't have to do any additional formatting, which it was perfect to do that. So I'll share some of these links with you so that you know what things are you going to use for your resume. But let's talk about the most important thing, which is, to me, is the most important thing, is the structure of your data, right? I basically use, in this case, a spreadsheet. Excel is going to be my source of the data. And the way I had to structure my data was I took each tab to talk about the different things I want to show in my resume. For example, my experience. You notice that I have my name multiple times, and I'll tell you why. But then each of these lines represents a position that I have held in the last, since 2014. I didn't include anything before that. But I took the relevance the last 7 years of my career. And then I did, Slalom still my present employee. I just needed to put a date there. But basically, I just, to show how my structure will work, I just notated some of the key accomplishments I have had in each position. Then the next tab I created was around my education, right? What are the degrees you have, which is the subject, which is the school, and what was the graduated day. I also did one tab for my skills, and I kind of rated myself. It's hard to rate yourself, you know. I didn't rate anything to be 10, and I really think 9 is high because, as Rahit said earlier, and we had about from our speakers, we're always learning, right? I honestly, even if you become someone doing something for years, even 9 or 10 is too high. You know, I always rate myself lower because there is so many of the unknown that you're always going to have the opportunity to explore. So that's giving yourself a label, maybe in a struggle. So what are the things I like to do as regular activities, my personal information, and my certifications, right? So when you structure your data, think about all the things you wanna use to tell the story in your resume, and separate that into each tab. You know, as I did here, take a in this case, an Excel spreadsheet, talk about your experience on one tab, your education, your skills, your hobbies, your personal information, your certification. And if you have more things to show, go ahead and do it. One of the things I thought about this, when it comes to resumes, you can really go crazy about it, right? But you could actually add also like a resume type. Like this is, you can have another column right here that you can add a resume type, where this one could be my professional, and then you can have other things here around your experience. Maybe it's not related to your professional in terms of career, but maybe you have something else you do as a personal experience, right? Like running your own Tableau user group, or running your own mentorship around data and analytics. I don't know, something that it could be personal. Just tag it, and then that could help you as you get into the Tableau side to toggle between types and add parameters. You can go crazy about how you want to expand this structure of your data. So once you have your structure completed, the next thing is you're going to bring it into your Tableau desktop. Let me click we can add a little bit. So once you are and you connect to your data, notice that the way I like to structure my data, right? I always like to bring kind of what my, in this case, I call my experience, my transactional, like will be kind of your transaction table. In this case, I joined based on my name, or I created a relationship based on my name. All of these sheets have name. In reality, for the design I created, I didn't need to bring this in a relationship. I could have brought each connection or each tab as its own separate data source. But this one allows you to enhance your model in case in the future I go back to my data source and I add a personal type for professional, right? Or I want to link my skills into my experience into some way, in my certifications into my experience. I can add keys that link and say, for example, my Tableau certifications, they go with my experience of, you know, my business intelligence role, or they go, or I can bring certifications into my skills and say how, when I talk about data visualizations skills, what certifications apply to those skills, right? So you can move your relationships in different places. You know, I can put I can relate certifications to skills, or I can relate certifications to experience I originally had it. So once you start exploring the beginning of your model, the sky is the limit, right? You can go really crazy to build a super interactive dashboard. But for the purpose of this meeting, and I only have a few minutes, I want to walk you through on how I did and how I built my resume. So the first thing you got to start thinking is what kind of templates you want to build, like what kind of colors you, at least I like to start with quickly building my template by using my dashboard. I usually, this is my style. I usually start bringing a floating blank into my dashboard sheet. The way you do a floating blank is shift, left click on your mouse, and that brings your object, right? That allows me to expand it in the width and the height that you needed. And then I like to immediately apply a background, right? Like I usually like something like this. And then from there, you can start going crazy about what other colors you want to bring and how other things you want, how do you want to accommodate your objects. One of the things you have to think about is what kind of visualizations you're going to have. Obviously, after I think about my visualization template, as you see, one of the steps on those five options, I think about what kind of story I want to, what I want to use in terms of visualization, because I also want to showcase to my potential employer that I know how to create visualizations that add value and tell the story, right? In this case, this is kind of a grand chart, it's a grand bar. So I'm showing I know how to create a grand bar, right? I know how to show the time in a bar chart, and this is a grand bar, and this is a great way to show that you know and you understand about time and the start date and the end date. The other one I thought it was important to showcase is like, once you do that, how do you integrate actions, right? Like notice how do I make it interactive when I select a period or a position I held, it shows what my key accomplishments at the top, right? So how do I do that? Then you're speaking about your ability to understand dashboard actions, right? So to create a dashboard action, I'm just go to, in my dashboard tab, I would go to actions. And in this case, I created one for my experience because I want that when someone clicks on the bar of my position, I want to show that those key accomplishments. So you add to add in this case, I'm just going to open this one that I already created. You say when someone clicks this visualization, I want them to show this is not correct, but when someone clicks the visualization grand bar, I want the my description for that to show, and then I want it on hover, and you just basically say how do you want the actions to work, right? Sometimes Tableau will do crazy things. You just gotta make sure that that's what you meant. In this case, is doing what I want the visualization to do. So you can showcase your actions, right? You know about actions. This one, I thought this is one of the most popular visualizations you can create, because this shows your level of understanding on how to create a dual axis chart, right? You can either go with a dual axis or a combined chart. So if you can talk about what it is, you know, that's perfect, because it shows your employer that you are at the level where you can create a dual axis chart. And how do you do that, right? The other thing that I thought it was kind of important for me to show, like if I were to show this to a potential employer, is that I can show that I know how to link icons where they will take you to my website, right? So I can make this dynamic where this takes you directly to my LinkedIn. I also have my Twitter account. And I can also have my employer do a interactive email, right? Like they can, when they click to that email, it would open up my email and they can email me. So there are a lot of great things as a tooltips. You also can show that, you understand about tooltips and formatting, right? Like when it comes to my education, let me put this in presentation mode so you don't see once I'm clicking for the objects. Education, you can see that, I didn't have to present a lot of things in terms of all those lines of what my education is. But I put my bachelor's degree in a smaller font, and my master's degree and my graduate degree in a little bit of a bigger font because it's a higher degree. And then my master's degree is the biggest font because it's the highest degree of all, right? So you cannot show in some kind of presentation in terms of tooltip. How do you accommodate sentences and formatting, and how you structure thoughts? Also, tooltips are very powerful, right? Because when somebody looks at, in this case, on the interest, right? Someone by reading and seeing this icon, they can learn that I love bodybuilding and I love to lift weights, right? I don't have to show the sentences to populate my dashboard. That's within the tooltip. And also it shows how you structure and how do you present yourself, right? Do you know how to structure the story in a dashboard? Do you think about all those presentation patterns, right? Like the C pattern, the F pattern. How do you accommodate your objects in the dashboard? How many colors are you using? Are you thinking about cognitive load, and are you strategically telling the story? So there are a lot of things that you can show in terms of skills, and what people can learn about you is tremendously just by building your resume in Tableau. Basically, you're telling your employer, this is about me. I'm analyzing my story. This is presented, but also the skills where I'm showing you that I know how to structure data. I'm showing you that I know about important features in Tableau. I'm showing you about formatting, UI, UX, user experience, and I'm telling you about who I am. So there are a lot of great things you can do by building your resume. So the last thing I will show you, so I give enough time for questions and closing. You, as Michael said, is super important as you start building Tableau. Build your public profile in Tableau Public. I hadn't created that interesting. And it all depends. I think this is super important when you want to put yourself out there and get your first job, and you're new to the data and analytics field. I've been on this field for the last 15 years. So for me, learning Tableau and showcasing my skills, I didn't really have to break barriers or put myself out there to get my first Tableau opportunity. It just came, it was already there. So I didn't feel the need to build a Tableau public profile for myself. But now that I'm in this, I love it. I really like it. So now I have, I'm gonna publish, this is the first thing I'm gonna publish on my Tableau profile account. So in order to do that, you first create your Tableau account. Let me see, not this one, but here. You need to create your account in Tableau Public. Once you do that, and you have a Tableau Public account, it's really easy. It only took me 3 minutes to create it. Now I can go ahead and publish this. How do you publish a dashboard to Tableau Public? You go to server, you publish workbook. You gotta make sure you're signed into, in this case, you gotta paste the Tableau Public URL into this window. And then you say, yeah, I wanna save this. But before that, it's gonna ask you to make sure that your data source is in the extract format. So for those of you who are familiar on what it means, is in the data source, you have two connections, live connection or extract connection, right? it won't let you publish anything with live connection. It has to be in the extract. That's all it is. So I usually, before I publish anything to the server, I like to clean, I like to hide my sheets. I like to make it clean. I like to remove everything that I'm not using. Then I'm gonna go ahead, publish my workbook and say save. And it's already say there is already Adriana resume there, already exists. Let's overwrite it. Yes. So just to close and give you enough time, and hopefully I can answer any questions. And we'll be sharing those resources with you as to which links and what resources you can use to start your work. Go ahead and yeah, let me see your questions, and I'll pass it to Michael just in case. Michael, is anything you wanna add?
Thanks, Adriana. No, this was fantastic. I think you hit on everything we really wanted to cover. Tableau Public's super important for you to put yourself out there, put any of your work. It's I can't stress enough how important that is. Whether you're in the job that you think you're going to be in forever or not, having that profile, that portfolio that you start building out, that's what people look at. Employers want to see it. The resume, is probably one of those easiest things that you can do because that's you. You know your data, and you can construct it in such a way where you can start practicing. I want to make this as hard as possible. I want to, use a mix of CSVs and Excel files and, some things so I can maybe use Tableau Prep, to go about and shape my data. Or I want to make it as easy as possible. And how Adriana was showing in Excel, having it, predefined with columns and rows and, nice and neat. But once you get into Tableau, the creativity is your own. This is where you can start playing with out-of-the-box charts and then start to grow and iterate through even more robust, bespoke visualizations, maybe some radar charts that show, your soft skills and technical aptitude and, communication skills, and you can rate that. But it's, a nice visual where you can see, where you're strong and where you maybe need some work. But this is one of those visualizations where there is no, unless you're using a template or something, everything else is unique. This is about you. So if there's, so it looks like in creating an interactive resume, we've got from Tom, should you limit the dashboard, can you use a story or link dashboards? So I'll go ahead and let you have a stab at it, and then I'll provide my thoughts on it too. Go ahead, Adriana.
Yeah, you can definitely create stories, and you can build multiple dashboards within a dashboard that you can link within your actions, if that's what you meant, Tom. But yes, you could use the stories to create to tell the story about you.
Yeah, and likewise, using the dashboard, either interactivity, navigation buttons, or just any kind of filters, right? Action filter, URL filters, whatever it might be, or the story points itself, using those. I don't think, I hear you talk about looking for best practices. The best practices depend on the situation. What are you trying to convey? It's the story. Usually what it comes down to. How can you create the most efficient story possible? If you can do that through story points and take us through that journey and get us to either persuade or inform, or get to that decision, fantastic. It's going to be different for everyone.
Definitely.
I consume data a little bit differently than maybe Adriana does. For you to have maybe multiple versions of the resume, go for that. Hopefully everyone has, a resume that isn't just a one size fits all. Usually you tailor a resume for a specific role or position. And in this case, you can iterate through different variations of resumes, having something like Adriana has where it's, nice and clean and, you know, it just speaks to, hey, I know exactly what's going on. Where you could be more creative with, you know, visualizations where it might take you a little bit longer to learn about what's going on, but again, you're expanding your skills or knowledge in different chart types. Chris asks, haven't used the story features yet. What advantages are there to using stories?
I personally don't use the stories a lot. I'm not it's just not, they take a lot of space on my view, and then a lot of the things are static in terms of information. So I'm not a big fan of stories, in my personal opinion. But Michael, what's your experience?
Kind of with you. Where I think stories are powerful is in the story narrative. So for example, a story point, you can take a dashboard and duplicate that story several times. So maybe in this one iteration, the story that you're talking about, you're trying to focus on a particular aspect. So if we use resume, for example, maybe you're concentrating on your educational skills. You know, when you first started, your upbringing, you know, how does that look? You don't necessarily have to get to the big picture right away. Let's focus on that. Then as you click into the next story, and again, for all the you out there, stories were really kind of, hey, we're in this PowerPoint world, you know, you go from one slide to another. That's what the story points were kind of meant to mimic, right? You move on to the next phase. In the next phase, maybe you have another similar subset of your resume, and now you're not necessarily focusing on education, but now you're focusing on maybe your career experience, and you're taking that person through a journey of, story point 1 is education, story point 2 is career, story point 3 is volunteerism, or whatever it might be, but you're holding someone's hand and you're taking them on a ride, rather than maybe just throwing out a dashboard out there, and to Tom's point, linking different dashboards together. It's just a different flavor. It's what you're accustomed to. If you like doing storytelling, story points could be for you. If you're more creative and you like the dashboard approach to where you want full interactivity, you can go down that way and explore either.
Great questions.
All right, no other questions. Any more questions? All right, so we put tons of resources and links into the chat. Hopefully you were able to capture most of those. If not, we'll bake all those into the slide deck. We'll have those out in the next day or so. Again, this session will be recorded and put up on the Tableau YouTube page. We'll go ahead and, I don't know if anyone can post that in there now. If not, give us a minute and we'll get that. But we'll
I also have posted a link to where I uploaded my resume to the public. You can see it, you can download it, you can play with it. So feel free.
Perfect. Okay, and we'll be back again next month. So April 21st, we'll have the session for you to sign up in the next, starting next week. Also, as a reminder, we will have the workshop on that Saturday. So what is that, the 23rd, I guess. So if you're brand new to Tableau, or you're just really gonna maybe fill in some gaps, it is free, won't cost you anything. So feel free to join us at that time. All of that will be on our user group page. So, thanks everyone again for joining, from Klaus to Rohit, Mujahid, Adriana, Destiny. Thank you all so much. Thanks everyone. You have a great rest of the day, good week, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks all.
Bye.